In 2023 and 2024, I spent hundreds of hours learning and creating a software in Unity called Frozen Stars. It had all kinds of tools for black hole research and visualizations. The idea from the start was to release it to the web because none of these tools existed on the internet, but the problem is, after winning a couple of awards, I got lazy and never ended up releasing it in a web format. Today, we're changing that, but the problem is I've never actually released a Unity project in a web format, so let's see how it goes. I first looked up a tutorial on how to upload a Unity project to the web because I had no idea. In all honesty, the person that I watched explained it really simply. It almost seemed too easy. When I was trying to build the project in Unity, I was met with some settings I had no idea about and was too lazy to research, so I just clicked on the switch platform button and waited. I had a really hard time finding where the build had completed, and after searching for about 5 minutes, I had a realization that I had only switched the platform to the web, and now I had to build the project itself. Yeah, I swear I'm not that stupid usually. As you can see by the folder dates, I haven't touched this project in a long time. Like a long time. Frozen Stars is quite a big project, which you can figure out by seeing that it took 9.5 minutes to build. 9.5. Luckily, I soon found out that it's just the first build that takes this long. The rest took about 2 to 3 minutes each. Anyway, after the project was built, I opened the folder and straight up double clicked on the index.html file expecting wonders, and it absolutely didn't work. It threw an error which I didn't know the meaning of, so I just copy pasted it in Google trying to figure out what's going on. And after that didn't help much, I went to ChatGPT begging for forgiveness after saying it's a bad platform just 2 videos ago. By the way, you should check out my ChatGPT wrapper video, it's quite cool. Anyway, ChatGPT showed me something which I could have easily figured out, but turns out I have just gotten incredibly lazy. I hadn't read the error message properly, where it quite clearly said I need to run the project in a server environment. Yeah, I decided to run a quick server with Python with the following commands, but then I got another error, which is actually amazing, believe it or not. It means we're making progress. ChatGPT though told me to fuck Python and use something better like Node, so that's what I did. I installed HTTP server globally and ran the command to turn the server on. Turns out that didn't work as well, and now we have an actual problem. An actual problem is when we changed something after getting an error, but the error we got now is the same as the one we got before. ChatGPT told me to change a couple of build settings in Unity, which meant that I have to rerun the build of the project again, which at that point I thought would take 9 minutes, which was a big no-no. I then realized that I was building the whole project while I meant to build just one of the simulations. See, what I haven't told you until now is that there are a total of 4 tools in the project, but I just wanted to move the one where you can coordinate where a black hole goes, and wherever it goes, it bends 2D spacetime dynamically. It's actually the simulation that inspired me to create Frozen Stars in the first place, because I couldn't find it anywhere on the web. That's why I decided to create it myself. I wanted to move just one because I thought the difficulty of building a project scaled with however many scenes it had, but now we know that's not the case. After I saw that building the whole project only took 9 minutes, at the time I still didn't know it would be even less, I thought moving just one scene would be about 3 minutes or less. So for the time being, let's just render one of the scenes, the one we want, so things can move faster. Before changing anything, I decided to not change any of the settings ChatGPT told me, just in case the problem was with the other scenes. So I unselected the other scenes, This time it only took less than a minute and it worked. I was so happy. As you can see, you can't actually hear me screaming, but I'm very happy. There was another problem though. I had used the build and run feature, but when I tried to start it with the HTTP server, it threw the same error. Contradicting to any logic, however, I decided that I think it's actually better to straight up try and test it on my VPS, which is running Coolify. I didn't really have any clue how to deploy it though. My guess was that it wasn't different than any other static website, that's why I just uploaded it and hit deploy. At least now it's loading, but we get the same error we got earlier. I decided to change the two settings ChatGPT told me about earlier, and with newborn confidence, I decided to render all the scenes. Probably a big mistake. No, it wasn't. What? You can't actually hear me at that point, but I am screaming yet again. It also works trying to run it locally, and when I pushed it to GitHub, it also ran on the domain. What? I couldn't be happier at the time. I then decided to buy a standalone domain, frozenstars.space, because it seemed fitting for the project, and I bought it for 2 years since it was less than $10. I then took the time to rewrite some code and translate some things in English, so now you can use it completely in English. Honestly, it's really surprising that I started with the idea of just moving one of my simulations and ended up succeeding in moving the whole project to the web. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoy making it. If you want to visit Frozen Stars for yourself, the link is in the description, which is, by the way, I'm just saying it's right under the subscribe and like button, you know. I'm making a face review at 15 million subscribers.